bear with me. I had to lay aside several times, then resume reading, proofing, because I was so ignorant of the torment and suffering of persons who live in mental illness, the daily struggles, the lack of compassion, understanding from parents, siblings, of course, passersby. No help, no hope. I wept. I told you that I did not believe I could or would be able to do the proofing. There was so much hurt on your pages. I've been enlightened. The second one is from another. It just evolved. The Lord had to evolve. A girl that went to the same seminary I did. She was behind me. She does dissertations for students. So is the academia community. She says, your heart and passion, and indeed your heartbreak, are inspiring, compelling. Your advocacy for first responders, especially in like Christ-like. The third one is a person that has mental illness. She has mental illness. Her two daughters have mental health challenges. I know it because one of my friends turned me on to her. This is what she says. Yes, and your book is like an encyclopedia of information for everyone. I had to put it down a lot. So many emotions, memories, tips to help with my daughters. I haven't found a single subject you missed. This book is the Bible for mental health families. They can always skip the information they need. Your experience are a baseline for your readers, Dirk. This is exceptional. I actually asked God for guidance in print, and here it is back to my reading. Now then you have my little bit about my background. It says, confession can be good for the soul, but bad for your reputation. My reputation has been shot since 2007. Confession by this book is good for my soul. I am 72 at the time. In 2001, I have ministered in the church since I got sick in 2007. Embarrassment already taken its course. When I'm trying to protect, what was I trying to protect? I was concerned about protecting my reputation because I'm supposed to be a Christian. So I would just say it. I have been in 21 hospitals, had 21 car accidents. I'm diagnosed with schizophrenic, chronic schizoaffective type of bipolar 1 since 1974. I was a public school teacher, CEO of 2 computer companies. I pastored 2 churches. I have a BA, 2 master's, 2 doctorate degrees, and received 2 parental awards. For me, the stigma was in the church worse. I must deal with sin and sickness, the sin and the spiritual failure, and demonic influence before I became a Christian. I was hiding my sin, my sickness, not my sin. This book is written for family and friends who have a loved one with mental health challenges. It was also served well for those with mental health illnesses. I offer you to read, to laugh, read, cry with me, and read this book and experience my journey. Now I have a seal here on the front for Golden Seal Literacy Exceptional Award for the prestigious title awarded to authors with exceptional writing styles. I wish they said content, the style. Now, it also received an award. I was searching for some reviews. Now, this book came out when I was 72. I'll be 74 in 2026, June the 26th, 2023. Couple days, right? The book's been not that long. I've never put it on social media. When I first started, some good friend of mine asked me to preach at his church, pretty large church. I preached. I preached it, and it was more about what we go through and things like that. And so they had over 100 views since COVID. And so during that time, that was in July of last year. So I added about 80 of them, and it said about 189 views. And so with my wife, when we were going out, we go out to every now and then, a couple of months, we go out to a hotel, resort, and stuff like that. And so we're sitting there, I said, it was 250. I said, dang, I hope I get 230, 300, something like that. Today it's up to 815 or more. Every day it climbs. And you were wondering, why did I don't put it on social media? All right, it hasn't been on social media. And somehow the Lord just stopped me. And today was the day for it to take place. For some reason. The devil tried to stop me all the way here. Credit cards, all kinds of stuff. All right, and I'm very tenacious. I mean, I went through all of that, but still came through. So my next award. Now I was searching for a company that does reviews and send things out. So I found one, and they specialize in committee and reviewing books, U.S. review of books. So they gave me, there was 2 awards, seal, a golden seal and a silver seal. I got the golden seal, right? So I didn't know they submitted it to an author's competition, right? I won the competition, and when I first sent it in, this is what she said. Now I wonder if you can pick it up. It says mental illness. She says about my book. They put it on the web page. It says, she said, Mental Illness, Behavior, Sin or Sickness by Dr. Derek Guyton is an impactful book that sheds light on struggles of individuals dealing with mental illness and harmful impact on stigmatization on this subject. Through his own life journey, Guyton provides a first-hand account of difficult faces by people with mental health problems. From growing up in a 2-bedroom wooden house with 5 siblings to navigating college, career, various accidents, he recounts his journey and how his mental health evolved over the years. In addition, he discussed the crucial role that psychologists and counselors play in treating mental illness, with also highlighting how so many environments, such as the church, can contribute to stigma. The book's primary goal is to help family members understand, support individuals struggling with mental illness, and the author makes a compelling comparison between mental illness and addiction. He notes that while support groups are available to help those with addiction, mental illness is often stigmatized and only discussed behind closed doors. Guyton highlights the importance of treating mental illness with the same openness and support as addiction, as could make a significant difference in how we perceive and treat it. However, he also acknowledges that different forms of mental illness, mental health struggles may require different treatments, approaches. For example, some individuals need more extended periods of one-on-one therapy before feeling comfortable in groups. Guyton's passion, dedication to this book are evident throughout. And his goal of helping others struggle with mental illness is apparent. I found this book particularly insightful as providing a first-hand perspective on the illness I've only encountered theoretically through study. I believe that the willingness of individuals like Guyton to share their stories and help to reduce stigma surrounding mental health in the world is gradually becoming a more aware, understanding, loving place for those dealing with mental illness. Mental Health Sin or Sickness, Dr. Guyton is an excellent read for anyone. I highly recommend it for individuals dealing with mental health struggles, their family, friends, and psychology students and professionals who want to gain a deeper understanding of complex topics. Now, then I turn around and I didn't know they submitted me for an author's contest. And so they sent me this thing said the first one was from the assistant editor. This came from the editing chief. He says, congratulations, we are proud to present you with the Literary Titan Board of Book Award. Your book was recently reviewed through our book review services, and with the service, your book is entered into the Literary Book Award competition. Your book deserves extraordinary praise, and we are proud of acknowledging your hard work, dedication, and writing talent. Start telling the world that you are an award-winning author, because we will be. And so I texted him, I said, what does that mean? I started reading, I said, oh. So the difference between two seals, the other one's coming out, is that one, I'm an award-winning author. The other one's another thing. So, but out of all that reading, there was one thing I believe we all missed that's important. Okay? And before I go to that, I want to do a question Q&A. All right? How many of you desire to write a book? If you could. And if you could write a book, would it be about yourself?
Most likely.
No.
What would you write about?
Health.
What's that?
Health according to the Bible.
Health according to the Bible. Okay. Many of us need to tell our story. Sometimes we say we don't know about it in our business. All right? That's sort of an issue. The number one thing that was brought out in this book, in this whole accolade thing, I believe that the willingness of individuals like Guyton to share their stories is helping to reduce the stigma around mental health, and the world's gradually becoming more aware, understanding, loving place for those dealing with mental illnesses. And I'm going to say this up front. I have a lot of things I can say. I have to go through it quick. All right? We need to tell our story. And I'm jumping through a whole lot of things I wanted to say. All right? I recently went through something. I had a blackout. You were going to do it virtually.
Yeah.
Right? But what he doesn't know is I had 2 more blackouts afterwards. I went 23 years after I became a Christian. Computer company. I got saved when I was a teacher. Computer company. Taught myself 2 computer languages. Then pastored 2 churches. One in Philadelphia. The other one's about a mile away from the Golden Gate Bridge on the opposite side of San Francisco. Okay. After 23 years between the gap, I pastored 7 years. Boom! I had a manic attack. All right? I can go through a whole, you see a lot of it in here. Sorry, I got to rush. So, there's a significance in telling your story. All right? I don't just say this, I know how much I'm jumping over. But after, when I went through those 3 episodes, the first thing I did, they said, I had a blackout. I threw stuff all around the room. All right? So my wife came in, I choked her.
Oh.
And the police were there, and I told them, they come in here, you can shoot me. All right? Things here about first responders and second responders. The family are the first responders. The professional second responders, because we see it before it comes. All right? So, after laying there for a while, my blood pressure went up. I couldn't find my phone. I found my watch. I said, Cheryl, my daughter, I lived with them. I said, Cheryl, I think I'm having a stroke. My head was blooming. I had been working with the hospital, nobody knew, for 2 years about controlling my blood pressure. And it took me half an hour to get there. They took me to the hospital, my blood pressure was 210. All right? Went up to 222. My body started going through convulsions. All right? And so a mental health clinician came in. She talked to me. It's funny, in the mornings, I had these visions. By the afternoon, I was okay. See, usually when I go through mania, it's a whole lot of mess. Running the street, breaking, running around. But I had been doing good. I started a self-publishing company, talking to the partners on it, that kind of thing, and boom, I go into a blackout. they don't know is the next. And that day when I went to blackout, she went to talk to a supervisor. Bill, I'm okay. They want to take me to the VA. For my family, I went to the VA. They ran the same battery test. Just don't give me a CT scan again. I was there 2 hours. Mental health specialist came in, clinician, talked to me, talked to my daughter, said, he's okay. The next day, my daughter, we went to the VA, to the hospital. They said, she talked to the mental health clinician. She said, practitioner, like a doctor. And she talked to me, said, I had a blackout that morning. And she said, he's okay. She said, can't you put him on? She said, look, I can send him to the hospital. They'll talk to him and let him go. Or they may keep him overnight, they're gonna let him go. It's not worth it. It's in good shape. The next day, now at this point, nobody would let me in their home. All right? So the next time I was in a hotel. So then what happened was, I had another blackout, and I had this vision. And she decreased my medication, my blood pressure. Then, the next day, and I was in hotels, all right? And I had another vision, but they were all consistent, And I drank it, smoked it, and nothing. When you get manic, let me tell you something, crack don't have nothing on mania, all right? When I got sick after being a pastor, somebody took me using crack. That's like putting kerosene on a fire. It's all in the book. All right? So the third time, now here I am. I had borrowed $6,000. I'm on a fixed income. I spent all that money, all right? Hotels, trying to stay someplace. My savings, I was spending it all. I said, let me stop. I spent 3 days in the street. Now this is after I wrote the book. 3 days in the street. I slept across the street from the VA hospital. Looked like a bomb. Slept in the garage. Got the garage, went on the ground, half my body on the grass, the other half on the cement. Right? Went to Philadelphia, my friend was. Took an Uber, a good ways away from DC to there. Talked to him. I was out all night. He was asleep all night, walking the street. And I experienced what people were going through in the street. It put me to tears. Right? And so, third night. Right? So I went through all this. And see, I had this thing. When I first became a Christian, this song by Tremaine, I've been changed and worked till the day has come. I played that for weeks, couple months, walking around the court. And then our children, we were watching this Salty show, right? And it says, make me a servant, humble and meek. Help me to serve those who are weak. And may my heart always be, make me a servant today. I cried behind this song. I cried. I ain't tell nobody because I thought it was corny. For years. And so that shows that I have a heart for service. And if anybody tell you the work I've done, we built a church in Africa. We did all kinds of things. My ministries were out the box. When I was in Marin, a faith-based organization came to me for a grant. We had a hip-hop ministry in the Bay Area. And we were supposed to get that grant for 3 years, $500,000. They gave it to me indefinitely. I received an award when I graduated from my doctorate. I got a big eagle and a $2,000 check. All right? For the types of ministries I could do out of the box ministries. All right? So in 9 years, it's been 16 years since I wore a robe. Right? I wasn't even buying a robe. And the man anniversary, my wife told them they got me a robe. 3 stripes. I should have got 4 because I have 2 doctors. Right? No big thing. So I know what it's like, the stigma. The stigma can be worse. All right? I got some statistics I wanted to go through. Trying to get the Lord to help me. This is going to be a hard message. it's like the visions I had is a very hard message. You know how we look through a telescope and we look back and we see how the world is? Now we say, the Lord's coming soon, we got glasses on, right? Then you put reading glasses on and you get a good picture of what's going on. See, and my fear is, you have no idea how the devil tried to handicap me with money. I spent everything. I'm living off of borrowed money right now. I left after that last incident and came to Wichita Falls, Texas. My daughters was crying. Everybody was upset. I said, I'm never going to live in the street again. I got me a place. VA gave me a loan for a home. I didn't get the home. Somebody photoshopped the house. I didn't get it. That's what it looked like. But the Lord is in His plan. I got an apartment, $550 a month. Beautiful. You couldn't get that anyplace else. It's one of the least expensive places in the country. Right? So I want to go back home, but nobody would let me in before I left. My children were labeled with somebody else, a parent, husband, whatever. They were afraid of me. I caught a bus from Philadelphia, went to Newark, Delaware, where my brother, who recently died. Went to that house, looking like a bum. Somebody came to the door. Oh no, you can't come. My sister's house. No. I don't know whether she recognized me or she got the memo. So I'm walking the street, and my phone went dead. I took my bags and put it on the swinging chairs. I walked around. My head was busting. I went to. From there, I walked away, and I was afraid my sister-in-law would be coming. So what I did was I hide, turn around like I was. Didn't want to put her in a compromised situation. I would hide behind a truck every time a car got bad, looking like I'm doing something else. That's what stigma does. Stigma can be worse than the disease itself. You have no idea. You can go to church. Bishop the one to say, I was going to just show my book on the video. When he said depression, I said, well, people are dealing with depression. I said, well, I just can't do that and just talk about the book. So I have to come. I came. I spent everything I had to get here. Credit cards was messed up. I was borrowing money on the way. All right? Just like I went through the car accident. Every car accident, I walked away without a skater. Nothing was wrong with me. Total 6. Should have died. And 6 of them. I got a picture of all the cars in the Bourbon here. The 21 hospitals and pictures of all the hospitals. I went through all of that and still came out with careers and degrees. Football players used to say, if you get hit, always fall forward. And I had this tenacity. And the devil was doing everything, credit cards, lost the credit cards, this and that. You have no idea how hard it was to get here, getting lost. He did not want me to show up here. He did not want me to show up here. And I fought. I had the Lord just worked all this stuff for me. And I said, Lord, the thing with the reading glasses, I didn't want to do that. I'm skipping around with a minute. Just 1 second. Put a pin in that. Walking around, I went to the hospital again. Right? My blood pressure went up to 210. I was going through convulsions. Just letting you know, these type of things went on. Nobody would let me in. I had no place to go. All right? What was I just talking about? Put a pen in.
Reading glasses.
What? Reading glasses. So the visions was visions about the future. And I said, Lord, I don't want to do it. They're going to think I'm going through mania if I talk about it. And so the devil knew what was going to happen. I said, I don't want to do it. And I was like a puppet on a string. You're going to do it. I said, no, I don't. Lord, please. I'm going to look like a fool. I'm going to look like I have a mental problem again. if I show these reading glasses and what I saw. And so I was in the apartment, and I was up 3 nights. See, you can sleep with mania, you can sleep 10 minutes and it's like 8 hours. You can be here for days. I didn't have my circle with me. I had taken it since 2016. One thing I learned, I was in the hospital for my last time 11 months to find out what was going on. 4 programs. I did not leave. I knew the boogeyman was out there. Had went through the crack thing. The mania. 11 months. And so here I am. Almost lost my train of thought. Here I am in my room, up for 3 nights. I said, Lord, let me go. And he was showing me the disciples. He was showing me the premillennium. What's to come? The premillennium is like 1,000 years of millennium. But there's a before that, the premillennium is before that. And he showed me how things got out of whack. All right? When Adam and Eve, the devil influenced them to bite that fruit, he got them out of their roles. And if you got to have it, you're good at something, he's just tore up families ever since. I was in the inner city. You could be 24 years old and be a grandmother. Look at the sticks right now. So and I preached a sermon 3 Mother's Days ago on the role of a spare rib. But I was doing it on the phone because I couldn't do it in public because somebody threw something at me. You know, but I really exegeted that. All right? It's like it's a time to mend, to prepare. Jesus is coming back soon. And we need to prepare for that. And I saw things. And every time I try to tell somebody, I'm telling you more than I told anybody. I can go into it more. But he's coming back soon. And I wanted to get, I'm telling you, the devil just tried to stop me. And see, I had been using, wasn't smoking, wasn't drinking. Even when I went through all that in the street, I wasn't. In the visions, and then in the afternoon, I'm fine. Second time I went through it, 2 psychologists came to my hospital room. At 2 different times with a team, 2 different ones. And they said, he's all right. I told them time, I was talking real fast, but they might think I was a maniac talking so fast. And I would say, he's all right. In the mornings, I had the visions. Afternoons, I was fine. That's strange. I never had it. And I could take you into the world. We talk about depression. All right? Bishop, depression. I know depression. It was my best friend. I know depression. You can be depressed, has nothing to do with anything. Because the neurons aren't firing right in your brain. You can be depressed over anything and commit suicide. Without a cause. But it never happens in a vacuum. There's always signs. When I had been through so much that in 2016, I was lethargic, laying around. I was watching TV, didn't want to go to church, and I didn't get my medication because the VA didn't send it for 2 weeks. And I said, something's wrong with this. And I knew I was headed for clinical depression. That's being hospitalized. I jumped up, went down to the hospital. In a week, almost a week and a half, back to normal. I take 1 pill. I knew the sign. It never happens in a vacuum. And there's ways to catch it ahead of time. But see, the one subject we don't talk about, and I didn't want to get into, you can stand up in church and say you have depression. Oh, they're going through depression. You can talk about depression. But not mania. Not schizophrenia. And I can take you into that world of mania and schizophrenia. And that's what I didn't want to do, is to take you into that world. Because I had both of them at the same time. And this is what happened. And I was in the room when I came out to Wichita Falls. I was up 3 nights, and he was taking me through the disciples. And I said, and my head was hurting. And every time he gave me a name, my head was hurt. I said, please, Lord, stop. And the irony is, I said, I'm getting mania. It's like, it's my schizophrenia. I kept, knocking this thing down. Don't you know, right after that, I go to the kitchen, I get some sardines, fish. I got a bowl of soup, three slices of bread and some chips. Ate that, left some of the bread. Got in my blow-up bed, and it just went down. I couldn't get to work. I was experiencing what the disciples went through. I said, no. This is what mania does. And I said, this can't be right. And all these events took place. And I was consistent with the visions. And then the reading glasses came on. And I still try to deny it. I don't know whether to write it in another book. But out of all of that, many of us don't want to tell our story. But he gave me a title. Out of all of that, is that success is vengeance from the cross to the grave. He nailed your sins on the cross so that you might be saved. You tell your story is to tell his story. That's what I got the whole thing. And I'm skipping a lot of things. I'm going to let you go. I know you're ready to eat. But I have so much I can say. Any questions? Any questions? How many of you did? Nobody in here can't tell me. Don't know somebody with mental health challenges. If you don't have it yourself. If you don't, raise your hand. It's the #1 disease. And I just went to page 228, real quick. I had it all down, 285. It says that with mental illness that affects family and friends, cancer is 9.8 million, diabetes 13 million, heart disease 23 million, mental illness affects family and friends 44 million. It's the #1 disease. The #1 disease nationally and internationally. And to get to the cover, it says sin or sickness. You understand? We think we're sick and then we sin. So therefore we try to pay for it, we try to do good deeds. Because I sin because I'm sick. Oh, no. That's what you see happening. No, you are sick. That's why you do sick things. A bird flies because it's a bird. A dog barks because it's a dog. You sin because you're a sinner. That's it. Everybody in this world has mental health challenges because of the fall. It's the #1 disease. This is part 1. I'm going to let you go eat. Okay.
Amen.
I need to say one other thing.
You got to go ahead.
Let me say one thing. I spent everything I had to get here. I owe money I can't pay back. I made promises I couldn't to get here. I didn't say a third of what I needed to say. A third. There's a story about a boy who went out with his brother in the sea. And brother was handsome, athletic. He was short, scrawny. And they go out so far and they come back. And then finally the little boy beat his brother. He says, how'd you beat me? He said, I ran till I had no more. I swam till I had no more. And he came back. That's what I did. I gave everything I got to get here. And this devil still trying to interrupt me. I'm asking you, with my email and phone number, start a computer business. I see how they work and operate. We can, if you can't read, you can't write, you have time, whether you blind, deaf, speaking another language, 93 languages. We can speak it, turn them into text, turn it back into language, write your story and that kind of thing. Start the company, sow under the hood. I'm asking you. I'll leave them the information. I got maybe 20 miles left on my car. I don't know how I'm gonna get back. How? I didn't took every time I went through my phone book to get here. The devil's still trying to stop me. If you can send me anything to help me get back home, or I'm gonna be on the side of the road tonight. I can't ask for no more. My email address, my phone number is 909-259-2112. 909-259-659. 909-659-2112. I need to get back home, and I took every dime I could get. Cards, went to 5 hotels. I stepped in the car last night. I thought it was here. I stepped in the car. Couldn't get a hotel, went to 5. You have no idea the sacrifices I made to get here. And I don't know how I'm going to get home. Bishop,
Yeah, we just have another service to do. I know there's a lot more that you have. I don't think this will be our last connection. And since I'm the district bishop, I have to make this statement to my people that you can't feel that this was an obligation on you, that, hey, you've got to contribute funds and that. I have to make sure that's clear on that. What we do in our heart, we do. But I have to make that, statement, you understand, for the member, because I'm the one creating workshops that I feel is going to help. The whole agenda is to build you up whole, as you've heard me say, and that's in every area. That's in health, that's in finances, you know, that's in spiritual. That's all of the areas that God intended for us to be whole. And this is an area, statistically, I'm fully aware of what transpired in the pandemic, and my even though these things were happening before the pandemic, and you're absolutely right, sometimes we run away from these things. Churches don't deal with these type of things, and we have individuals that are in our churches just throughout for a number of reasons. If we got down into deep, into statistics and the reasoning for it, it'll be many different ways. It's food, it's all kind of different things that are causing things like that. But as a church, we should really have answers. We're not against any psychologists, doctors, because we don't want, but God is not going to leave us empty on how to take care of our body. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things that have done in the past and all that. So, first of all, I appreciate the dedication, you know, on it. We thought, you know, we were going to, you know, kind of record this and bring it to you on this. Doc wanted to present it to you, and he presented more things that made me aware of. You know, I got his book and things like that. So you'll see books and things like that. You see books out that you think is a benefit. You know what to do. But I can't direct you or encourage you to do that at this level. But let your heart, you know.
We had to record it?
Huh? Yeah, we may have I don't know, did we capture this one? We captured it. Yes, we'll be able to.
This is the first time in 2 years it's going to go on YouTube of social media. and I'm ready to do that. I need to know what search engines, I wanna talk to you about that
Okay.
prior.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, we talked about that, and I got some of my tech guys who are right here with me, so we'll be following up. I got a couple of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be a part two I'm gonna be doing,
Okay.
somebody,
Okay.
okay,
All
but,
right.
yes.
You have books, you said you had a book for sale?
What happened was, I don't have the books, that's one of the problems. I was gonna bring books, let me tell you something about publishing. Germany bought 20 books, Australia bought them, London bought them, some 20. Another company took 50. Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, all of them took it. There's many of them. Do you know in 2 years, this publisher gave me $700, and they have to buy the books, and if you don't sell them, they take out my royalties, you have to pay them back. You can sell 1,000 books, and they can tell you sold 100.
But I think his answer, he will have some more. That's the goal. You will have, and plus our
You
prayer.
can go in those sites and get it. Barnes and Nobles is one of the better ones. $16. I have my own computer company, and so it'll be out. The website's going up in the next few days. You can get the book. It's in a different shape with 2 seals on it. Same content.
And we'll be pushing it. You know, anything, Gwen, you know, you've been with us. Gwen's in that education thing.
Yeah.
We see something good, we gonna push it.
Yeah.
So I can tell you on our end on it. But, certainly appreciate, your dedication and time, and I'll talk to you before you head out.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you. I know we way over our time, okay? Thank you.
It's 5, it's 5.
Oh, I'm good,
Right.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, great, okay. Thank you. Let's give him.
Well, I had a reason for coming this way with Wrinkle Students, it was a whole storyline. The whole storyline, and I wasn't able to. Yeah. I haven't used it at all. I'm looking for just different forms. Yeah, getting out there is the other difference.
The speaking is gone. That's all. You did put it in books. So that was a sketch.
So now it starts going out, and I just need to know what kind of
Could you,
how we're gonna be able to get it, so
could I get the
if I can get a copy of it, can put it under in,
for your Wi-Fi?
families or something like that.
Yeah.
Doing good. How we doing? Glad to see you too. God bless you.